It's midday in Nigeria. Welcome to Lunchtime Politics on Channels Television. First, the headlines. The Governorship Election Petitions Tribunal in Lagos is set to deliver judgment on the petitions filed by the candidates of the Labour Party and the People's Democratic Party challenging the victory of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. The Trade Union Congress puts action to its threat as members protest in Lagos over the ban on the operations of its affiliate union, the RTAN, by the state government. Plus, attention shifts to Zamfara State over the abduction of university students as the president directs security agencies to rescue them immediately. And to the main news, we start out with legal matters. The Lagos State Governorship Election Tribunal is about now delivering judgment in the petitions filed by the governorship candidates of the Labour Party, Mr. Gbadebo Rhodes Viver, and that of the PDP, Mr. Olajide Adediran, popularly known as Jandor. Both men are challenging INEC's return of Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu as governor in the March 18th governorship elections in the state, and Mr. Obafemi Hamzat as his deputy. Lawyers in the petitions adopted their final written addresses before the tribunal on August the 12th. In his final written address before the court, Mr. Rhodes Viver, who came second in the polls, argued that his petition is a litmus test of the superiority of the provisions of the constitutions and insisted that to dismiss it would be an endorsement of unconstitutionality. The PDP governorship candidate, Jandor, is also seeking the disqualification of Governor Sanwo-Olu and Mr. Rhodes Viver in the election for non-compliance with the Electoral Act 2022 and INEC's guidelines. The governor, his deputy and their party, through their lawyers, told the tribunal to dismiss all the petitions. Members of the have made good their vow to embark on a protest in Lagos over the continuous suspension of the activities of one of its affiliates, the Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria, by the Lagos state government. The TUC president, Mr. Festus Osifo, had last week explained that the action became necessary because of all correspondence with the state government had failed to address the issue. According to him, the Lagos state government is in disobedience of a court ruling which he claimed had it reversed the suspension of the association's activities by the state government. He said the union would be left with no other option than to direct its members to down tools if the protest today fails to compel the government to comply with the court ruling. The Lagos state government had in September 2022 suspended the activities of the Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria after a deadly clash amongst its members. Meanwhile, the Lagos State Parks and Garages administrators had kicked against the protest, saying it amounts to acting in contradiction of the court ruling. That a fire incident. Only president and general secretary should kill there. Take you back to the courthouses. This morning we reported that a fire incident occurred at the Supreme Court complex. The inferno started at about 6 a.m. from the Justices' chambers, specifically from Chamber 5 on the 4th floor of the Supreme Court, located behind the courtrooms of the Apex Court. According to the Director of Information for the court, Mr. Festus Akonde, the fire was a result of the electric spark from the Chamber 5 of the court, which is occupied by Justice Mohammed Saular, from where it spread to 2 other offices. Although it's been put out, the fire destroyed valuable documents and office furniture in the offices and affected on the 4th floor of the Justice Chamber.
Why is the time now? You tell me say may I stop or not stop?
I'm going to Benue State, where the Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism, Mr. Matthew Abo, has been abducted. Some gunmen were said to have attacked the Commissioner's residence in Zamfara at about 8 p.m. yesterday and took him away. In a related development also in Benue State, on Saturday, the former chairman of Ukum local government area, Mr. Iwoshima Iruka, has been kidnapped. Governor, Mr. Hyacinth Alia, has condemned both abductions, describing the act as barbaric. A statement from the governor's office explained that he has already detailed security agencies to immediately commence operations to ensure the release of the duo. A statement further explained that while the kidnappers took Mr. Iruka to a yet to be identified location, they have made contact with his family, while Mr. Abo's abductors are yet to make contact with his family. Governor Alia has called on the people of the state to remain calm as his administration will do everything to make the state safe for residents. We're being joined covering the TUC rally in Lagos. Hello, Dari.
Hear me. Most of the unionists are dispersing. They're leaving the arena, the State House of Assembly here, where they've delivered the letter to some lawmakers. Let me do a quick run through of what has happened earlier in the day. The unionists gathered somewhere around LASU, the Lagos State Teaching Hospital in Ikeja, and walked about, say, 3 to 4 kilometers here this morning. They were resolute about their demands. They said this one-day protest is just a warning. They would embark on a full-scale shutdown of services. They have affiliate unions that they have called into this particular protest. But as soon as we got here, they got the attention of the Lagos State House of Assembly. Some of the lawmakers came out. The Lagos State Governor, of course, not present. The Speaker House of Assembly, not present. But 3 delegates, some lawmakers, came to address the unionists. And after a while, they both exchanged some of the ideas, and the letters are signed. After signing the letters, that is what you have seen here at this moment. Lawmakers promised them that as soon as the Speaker of the House of Assembly comes, they would deliver the letter to him, and he promises that their demands, the letter, would not be swept under the carpet, that they would get a positive response to their demands.
But anything so far from the leadership of the TUC himself? Dar, if you can hear me, you've heard from Lagos State government. What's the TUC leadership saying right now? Are they still going to continue with the rally?
Yeah, the TUC leadership said they from the Lagos State government, they would concrete just yet from them yet until the Lagos State government talks to them. I don't know, you can see them walking out of the Lagos State House of Assembly complex at the moment. In a couple of minutes or hours or days, we would be in touch with them just to know what the next action. They had actually threatened that they would go on a full-scale shutdown of services. They would liaise and mobilize the affiliate unions to make sure that they shut down and target Lagos. But from what we gathered there, because again, when the TUC president was speaking to the lawmakers, it seemed to be like a bit of an agreement, so to say. They weren't threatening, they weren't speaking in strong terms again. They only just listened to the lawmakers and say they would await the response from the lawmakers. Nilta.
All right, thank you very much, Dari. Do stay safe. We'll get back to you as you update us on things happening around Lagos and no. Thank you very much. And so we move on to Zamfara State, where 7 female students of the Federal University of Gusau have been rescued from their abductors by troops of Operation Hadarin Daji, who also freed 3 construction workers who were abducted last Friday. Following the operations by both land and air components of the Joint Task Force, a total of 13 students have so far regained freedom, in addition to the 3 construction workers who were carrying out a project at the university when the attack occurred. A top military source told Channels Television that the 10 others, including 3 workers, laborers of the construction company, escaped from the bandits during the military rescue operations. According to the military, some of the victims were intercepted by troops during the rescue operation, while others found their way to the school authorities after fleeing from captivity. The bandits had stormed the school on Friday and kidnapped over 20 female students. 7 of them were able to escape from their abductors. Yesterday, the president had ordered security operatives to intensify efforts to rescue the remaining students. And we're being joined in the studio right now by the Special Assistant to the Zamfara State Governor, Mr. Suleiman Adris. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Idris.
Thank you for having me.
This matter of the kidnap of the student at the Federal University of Gusau, we do understand that the governor had a meeting, some negotiation meeting with the bandits. Is that true?
Not the governor,
okay,
but some officials of the federal government.
Okay.
That is the reason why we sought a clarification from the federal government, because from day one, Governor Dauda Lawal has made it clear that we are not going to negotiate or have any talks with the bandits, because previous administration had tried that method of negotiating with the bandits and it failed. So we are trying some other methods to see how we can end the issue of banditry in the state. Okay.
Would you want to highlight on some of these other efforts that the governor is introducing to end banditry?
Yes, like during the council meeting a few weeks ago, the governor approved the employment of 4,200 civilian JTF. This is one aspect of it, to see how this civilian JTF will complement the effort of the security forces in addressing the issue of banditry in the state. So this is one. And another one is that the governor had been engaging the heads of the security operatives in the state to see how we can gather information and intelligence in addressing the issue of banditry. We have been on it, and the stand of the Zamfara state government is that there is no negotiation whatsoever with the bandits. Okay, so
you just talked about what the governor is doing, or what the government is doing to end banditry in and around Zamfara State. But what are the efforts that the government is putting in to rescue the remaining students that were kidnapped?
Since the day after the abduction of the students in Federal University of Gusau, the governors on Friday summoned a security council meeting presided by the deputy governor. And during the security council meeting, the heads of the security agencies briefed the governor on what they are doing, what the efforts of the security operatives to ensure that they rescue the students. On that same Friday, we have seen how they rescued 6 students, and there are positive reports of how more students were rescued from the kidnappers. These kidnappers came into Zamfara from Niger State. They came into Zamfara from Niger State and they were trapped in Zamfara. I want to assure you that there is no way that they will escape Zamfara State.
Okay.
All the victims will be rescued in the meantime, so the security operatives are on it. I don't want to preempt the effort of the security forces in the front line.
Okay. Now, there are those, we all know that, or some have argued that one of the things that encourages banditry is unemployment and illiteracy. Yes, the governor has approved the employment of 200 civilian JTF, but is it just about employment? What about the millions of others that are more or less jobless? Is that also being looked at?
Yeah, there are ways. This is just, I think, 3 to 4 months of this administration of Governor Dauda Lawal, but within these 3 months, we have started to engage the youth, especially the youths. The governor introduced the Zamfara sanitation, youth sanitation program, the ZAYOSAP, with the employment of 1,500 youths. And this is just within the capital city, Gusau. And we will take this initiative to other local governments. So in terms of education, now the governor, last 2 weeks, he approved for the construction of more classes and more classrooms across the local government, and also to see how he can improve the education sector of the state. So he's doing a lot of things to make sure that even going to villages and be doing some infrastructural developments, taking basic amenities to these villages. We think doing that will help in addressing the issue of insecurity in the state.
Just before we let you go, the governor has asked the federal government to investigate those who have been doing negotiations on behalf of Zamfara State or negotiating with bandits. Do you think that would help in any way?
Yes, because the federal government, what is happening in Zamfara is a blatant abuse of protocol, because you cannot come into a state and be holding a sensitive, clandestine negotiation with bandits without taking the governor or any of the government official along. So I think if the federal government will do something to investigate or clarify, just to find out who are the people behind this clandestine negotiation with bandits.
Okay, so what's the way forward for those who are still in captivity?
Zamfara state government is on it, and the security forces are still on it. The bandits, as I said earlier, were trapped in Zamfara. I want to assure Nigerians that there is no way these bandits will escape Zamfara state.
Okay, so there's this belief that there's no how banditry will thrive in any society unless the people living in that area are involved or helping the bandits in one way or the other, probably because they are helping them for survival's sake. But you being a young man, being part of government at the same time, how do you think all of this is going to help to end? How would this end by?
You see, during the campaign in Governor Dauda Lawal's manifesto, one of the key aspects of the manifesto is security. And part of the things the governor is doing is to gather intelligence to see what are the factors responsible for this insecurity. So we have finished with the groundwork. What the governor is doing now is to analyze the information that we gathered on the factors responsible for insecurity. So in the meantime, we'll be implementing these reports.
What reports? Give us an idea of what the reports are.
Some of these reports are security reports.
Problem, but there are some other reports that can be good for the public.
I have said some, because I have made mention of the 4,200 civilian JTF. I have made mention of this ZAYOSAP. It's a program that is a Zamfara youth sanitation program that we will employ 1,500 youths across the local government. Each local government will employ 1,500 youths. And you see, with that, we'll be able to reduce the number of unemployed youths in the state. Okay,
so there are 1,500 youths, 4,200 civilian JTF. All of these, that comes down to just about 5,700 of youth that will be taken in by the government and given a sense of purpose.
Exactly.
What about education? Not just formal education. What about awareness creation? How is that working out?
Yeah, you see, that's why the government made it clear that there is no negotiation, because we are doing some groundworks. For instance, the issue of awareness. We have been doing awareness for quite a long time.
How have you been doing this awareness? Are you studying it? Is it from the traditional council?
The traditional,
from the wards. How are you doing
the traditional council, the religious events like in the mosques and other events. we're doing a serious awareness to let the people know that you can help us with information. We need your help for us to be able to end banditry in the state, because it's not just the affair of the government, it is the affair of all the citizens of Zamfara state. We must come together, we must collaborate with the government, we must help the security forces with useful information to be able to end this menace of banditry in the state.
Mm. You know, I really don't want to let you go until you tell me what exactly. Okay, let me start again back to you, being a young person.
Yeah.
What are you and your friends doing to help out in all of this? Not just about, you just talked about government. What about the people themselves? What are they doing? Are there groups that are helping out at the wards? I mean,
let me cite an example in education. When for the past 3 to 4 years, our secondary school students were not being able to sit for WAEC and NECO because of non-compliance and refusal by the previous administration to pay for these examinations. But on assumption in office, Governor Dauda Lawal, within 1 month, sat with the officials of the NECO and WAEC. And the last NECO examination, our students sat for the examination. And the past 3 years WAEC results that were withheld by WAEC were now released just a few weeks ago because of the negotiation between the government, the Zamfara state government, and the examination bodies. So what I'm trying to explain is that we're doing a lot of things, especially in terms of education, to make sure that all Zamfara citizens have access to quality education. We just don't want to say that they have access to anyhow education, but quality education. We want everything to be a standard. Let it be a standard education, not the normal, the status quo that we are used to. We want to do something different. That is why we call the Governor Dauda Lawal's administration is on a rescue mission.
Rescue mission. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Idris. Suleiman Idris, SHU, the governor of Zamfara State. Thank you for coming in this morning.
Thank you very much.
This afternoon. We're moving on now to other stories. The governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Imo State, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, has advised leaders and stakeholders in the PDP in the state to close ranks, come together to work as one and under one umbrella to ensure the victory of the party in the November 11 governorship elections. It was addressing the party supporters at the PDP secretariat in the Imo State capital. Senator Anyanwu says it is imperative for all political structures working with the party to come together for the victory, irrespective of differences. He promised that if elected governor come November 11, his administration will conduct credible local government elections within 6 months, give priority to the security of lives and property in Imo State.
There is no victor, no vanquish. Everybody should subsume into the party and work with the party. Whether Rebuild Imo, whether any organization, we are all PDP. The day of election, November 11, you will not see divine mandate on the ballot. What you will see is PDP. And that is why I have called them to advise them that they should accommodate everybody in their respective wards. If you want to win, you can only win when you accommodate people. January 14th or 15th, when I will be sworn in as the governor of the state. Under 6 months, I'll follow the due process by notifying ISEC, and I will conduct a credible and democratic election to local governments. And I'm going to do it. Let those who are popular, whether you APGA or any party, the person can win. It's not the time we do 27 over 27. We want those who have the capacity to go for the local government. If the local government is working, we have no business coming to the states.
Enugu State Governor Peter Amba has called on all political appointees to give in their best because they would be assessed by the performance benchmarks set for all ministries, departments and agencies. He was speaking while closing a 3-day leadership retreat themed Strategic Leadership for Disruptive Innovation and Sustainable Development, organized by the government to train their appointees on how to disrupt the status quo.
Development history is replete of countries and cities where the people have come together, agree that they want to change the narration, they want to change the pattern of growth, and they committed themselves to it, and it happened. We've seen it happen in subnationals, we've seen it happen in countries. So what we're doing here, nobody should tell you is impossible. Okay, we're already thinking about the future that we want to bequeath to our children. And that's why I said that history beckons on all of us to do something and to understand that it's in our hands. If we believe in it, imbibe the can-do spirit, it is possible.
And finally, the Akwa Ibom state government says the bill on the leadership of traditional rulers before the state assembly is not new, but a reflection of an agreement between traditional rulers and the state government. Some traditional rulers in the state had kicked against the bill, which seeks to stop the rotational headship of the traditional council. The state's commissioner for information, Ine Memobong, however, told Channels Television that the current administration is only formalizing the agreement reached between the former governor and the traditional rulers.
In May 2023, just as that administration was finishing, the traditional rulers in a meeting with the former rulers in a meeting with the former governor and the current governor had another agreement and said, okay, since we have the president, let's create offices of the vice president 1 and 2 to reflect the 3 senatorial district composition, which also, incidentally, we have 3 major tribes there, the Bibios, the Anangs, and the Oron. And it was agreed. All of them agreed to that. And therefore, since there was already an existing law, which did not capture the things that they wanted, the law sent to the House of Assembly in September 2023 is simply a reflection of the agreement that their royal majesties had on that day. And therefore, all of them having agreed without a single dissension, the duty of the state government was to forward that law to the House of Assembly. And that law was passed. And therefore, His Excellency the Governor had no input in the bill. The bill was simply a reflection of their majesties. So therefore, the protest is misplaced. The protest is either misconstrued or it has political undertone. His Excellency Pastor Moina said the traditional rulers should, in their council, because we seem to find that there are political underpinnings beyond what the traditional, because only the traditional rulers can discuss their matters. And the Council of Chiefs is in existence. So they can, in their council, according to His Excellency's position, sit down and say, if they say the law as passed is not fine by them, it's their matter. They sit again and say, look, this is an amendment to an existing law. That is the truth. So they can again now sit and say, well, we had agreed in May, but we no longer agree now. If they say so, and that is the general wish of the council, then His Excellency would enforce their will. But to say that the law as passed is obnoxious is a lie.
With that, you've been served on Lunchtime Politics. Thank you for watching. I'm Neota Igbe.